Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers. Man, oh man. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. I had to take a side profile. Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Sippin' on Excellence. Sippin'. That's my sexy voice.
Sipping on Excellence with Coach KJ.
And the Doc.
Yeah.
Go back to Theo. Hey, y'all.
I don't know if people really, our generation knows who Theo Mijora is.
If you've seen Waiting to Exhale, you know who Theo is.
Right. If you lived in LA, right? If you lived in LA in the 90s, the 90s, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and you listen to 92.3 The Beat, that afternoon drive, you knew who Theo was. Mm-hmm. Until everybody found out he was Japanese.
Yeah, little bitty Japanese guy.
Everybody thought dude started out as a DJ in the Bay, like a club DJ in the Bay.
Really?
Yeah, DJ, and then grew.
He should have. He go to the South. He should be doing strip clubs.
Right.
Coming to the stage. Black Diamond.
Theo got to be our age by now, right?
Oh, if not older.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, welcome y'all. Come to another week. We got some good shit coming at you guys.
I know.
We are coming off a great live this morning. Those of you who missed it, we Coach and I do a warm-up show every Saturday morning if we can.
On Instagram.
Instagram Live at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And we go in deep on stuff that everybody likes to talk about. Or should I say that everybody thinks about, but few want to talk about.
There you go. There you go.
Know? And since we have no fear of being canceled. We have no fear of the conversation because we just speak the truth. We speak our truth. Whether it's your truth or not is up for you to decide.
Right.
But
just the facts, ma'am.
Just the facts. We have a good time. Dude, did you see? I didn't send you this post. This is how stupid people are. This isn't even what's wrong with y'all. This is how stupid. Now that we're talking about just the facts. This woman, I was watching like Fresh and Fit or something.
Okay.
Podcast. And he asked this, or maybe it wasn't even, it probably was. And he was asking this woman, she was saying how she was making an argument. This is a college educated woman making an argument saying facts can be wrong. That's what she said. Facts can be wrong. And he was like, opinions can be wrong, all right? You know, but a fact is what it is because it's a fact. And she said, no, facts can be wrong and opinions are right. What, dude? To the point where he made a comment and went back in time to remember when she said she was college educated? Dude, probably one of the dumbest things I've heard. That I've ever heard anyone say. Facts can be wrong. Then they're not facts, you dummy. My mom used to always say, never call anybody stupid. Then people need to stop doing stupid shit.
Right.
It's that simple.
And you know what? You shouldn't call people dumb. But you can call somebody stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
You can
call somebody stupid.
Because the thing is,
and if you have no fear in it, and don't worry about being canceled either.
Stupid has one meaning. If you say somebody's dumb, that means they can't speak. It's a derogatory term, or for people who don't have the ability to speak.
Right. It's an inability.
It's an inability. So we take it and we put it as something else. Whereas if you're stupid, you're just stupid.
There are a lot of stupid people out there.
Yeah, right.
I
always say never underestimate the stupidity of others. Because just when you think they can't get any more stupid, you're like, you get showed up.
Right. Right. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Did you bring your bag with you? Yeah. You didn't bring a carry-on.
Man.
You brought the check in. You full of it today, boy. Oh yeah.
Oh man, fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, I have no problems about it.
Oh man, hilarious.
And I gladly admit when I do something stupid.
All the time. I will say it in a heartbeat that I did something ridiculous. Mm-hmm. All right, dude, that was just dumb. That was stupid.
That was stupid, right?
And I'll say it to myself like, and then I'll look around. Anybody see that? I'm glad nobody's here because that was just stupid. When you catch yourself, you're like,
Oh, I know. Just like how I call myself right there. Hey. We have this thing about, I don't know if you've seen any of the episodes, is we put our hands up on the mic. You get
because it's comfortable.
But that hand on that microphone in
looks
front of that
giant.
camera, it looks huge.
Speaking of which, y'all checking us out on YouTube every week. We're there.
That was my way of encouraging.
Oh yeah, y'all need to go on YouTube and check out the video aspect. Man. I know these episodes are long. It's like a TV show.
Yeah,
but that being said, we get into it, and if you grab a sip like us and just enjoy the episode and kind of talk along, one of these days coming, we're gonna do these live, and y'all can interact, and then it really gets fun. But we're testing it out.
You'll really get our opinion.
Right, but we're testing this out on the lives that we do on IG and getting the feedback and seeing how people enjoy it before we take this show on the road. Y'all ain't ready for that yet. We think about it, though.
Like the DLC. Yeah! That's what I thought of.
And y'all got to see this in order to appreciate it. Oh, man.
Funky enough. Classic.
Yes.
Classic. What how you doing this week?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, man. This is a good week, man. Yeah. What did I learn about myself this week? I would say I learned that you got to take care of yourself physically and mentally.
Okay.
In case y'all don't know, for the past few weeks, my back was hurting. My back don't hurt no more. I've been stretching. I've been working out. I've been eating better,
Inflammation's a mother.
And I will say I've changed my diet just a little bit. I still enjoy the good stuff, but you cut out some things during the week, and I wanted to see for the last month how that would respond, and I think I'm responding good to that.
Yeah.
Drinking a ton more water, and it's not difficult to keep up. So I'm just going to keep it going until I get sick of it.
Until it don't.
And then switch it up again. Because your body gets used to whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah. You just make another gradual adjustment. That's it.
And so I think what I've learned is that I take care of a lot of other people. I got to take care of me.
Yeah. You can't take care of people if you don't take care of yourself.
For sure. And so it's got to appreciate this body I'm in, and stop treating it like an amusement park every day. Some of these days I got to go to Temple, Yeah. Just saying.
My gosh.
Yeah. So that was my week. Coach? And like this. Off to you, Johnny.
What? No, this week was great, man. It's coming off of very lovey-dovey, very wonderful birthday gift for my wife. We went out of town, spent some QT. I mean, we always spend
quality
QT,
time.
but, oh man, but we really, really enjoyed our quality time. I think it helped that, something that I booked, I planned, and she's like, she was down back before we got in the car. She's like, what?
It's like, I don't have to do anything?
Oh, man. Let's go. So we just had an amazing, amazing, amazing time. And, one of the things that we talked about is, when you're on holiday or when you're going out of town vacations, instead of just going on vacation and coming back and just diving right back in, how do you take away 20% of that?
Just ease into it.
Just take away 20% that extra special love that you have for each other on that trip. Just take a little bit of that. It's not going to be full scale. There's no way.
But just keep some.
That's not real. Just bring in a little bit, and you'd be surprised at how things happen at home and the mindset.
Because do you have to go back into your same routine?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. How do we?
Can you have a different routine? Like, can you enhance the routine?
How do you modify your routine so you can get a little bit more of that? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottom line. Yeah.
I think most people don't think about it. Like, that's a good. Take this lesson from this dude. No relationships are perfect. No marriages are perfect. Nothing. There's no such thing as perfection.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly working to make it better,
that's the whole thing.
Your whole life should be a constant drive and should be constant work to be better.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people work just to keep it okay. If you're working to just keep things okay, you're working for the wrong thing.
Working to stay afloat.
Yeah, you're working for the wrong damn thing, man.
Don't worry, my head's above the water. I can still breathe.
It's just
I just can't see because my head is in the water.
And it makes no sense, man. It makes no sense.
No, but I tell you, one of the things that I did learn this week outside of that was that, I decided to start going old school and just started calling people, man. And you'll be surprised.
Just reconnecting with people. You'd be surprised at how excited some people are to hear. I mean, I had a couple of callbacks like, dude, what the F, blah, 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 blah. Man, I've been missing you. I've been thinking about you. But you took the initiative and said, you know what, I'm going to start making these calls. Because we always sit there and say, why am I going to reach out to this person? They don't ever think to reach out to me. Well, maybe they're thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I remember somebody who I hadn't heard from in a long time just asked me for a favor. And I was like, how dare they only call me when they need something? Mm-hmm. And then I thought to myself, well, shit, I don't call them either. So who's in the wrong? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all get busy and we kind of push things aside, but maybe we should reach out from time to time just to say, hey, what's up? And more too than just our close friends. You know what I mean? If it's people that we connect with at some point in time, and if you want to keep those lines of communication open, reach out.
Yeah.
I'm bad at that shit, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it's
you convinced me today when you're like, I was thinking to myself,
yeah,
that makes perfect. It's not hard to send a message.
No, it's not.
It's not.
And
you ain't got to get somebody on the phone and all of that.
No.
Just, hey, man, thought about you today. You good?
Yeah. And I mean, for me, there is a level of purpose. There's to generate more business, but at the same time, you can't generate business if you're not connecting. And there's making connections with people that you've always connected with in the past and reconnecting. They're in a different purpose now of saying, oh, well, let me connect with this dude. Oh, what is he doing now? Because they only remembered me from just
one
training.
aspect. Correct.
Just exercise. So now that I'm doing more coaching now, it's like, he did that for me. Oh, I remember these they'll reconnect to the other thoughts that they had about you.
And then they may think, oh, I got somebody I think should be talking to this dude. Right. You know, just there's so many doors that can open. You'd be surprised at how many people either don't know or forgot what you do. Mm-hmm. You know, and I get it.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense. And we harp on this a lot on this show. Communication is key, man. We gotta. If you are always trying to figure out better ways to communicate with the world around you, you are fucking winning. If you think about it.
Yeah.
People always ask me, what would I want my superpower to be? And we talked about this. My superpower would be if I, at any point in time, hear a language, could speak it. Because if now...
You're always able to connect.
If I can communicate on any level at any time with anyone, I can get anything else.
Okay, John Wick.
Think about it, though, right?
I mean, because that's what he does. He knows every language, remember?
Yeah.
And he just...
Yeah.
He's writing it off. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, shit, he knows everything.
Yeah. And so if you can connect on that level, there's nothing you can't get. Because people, the minute you can communicate with them, there's a certain level of trust and respect.
Oh.
If they know nothing else about you, boom.
Perfect example. I don't speak French, but I'm in France. I'm in a restaurant because I make attempts, at least asking how to say something.
People respect
because
that.
I know that just that little bit of aspect. They connect. They want to help you. They're like, oh, and they start speaking English. Oh, you're trying to speak French. Oh, appreciate you. Oh, blah blah blah.
Because think about how many Americans show up places.
That brash American,
dude.
That brash, and you hear them.
It's so
a mile
painful.
away. You see them and hear them a mile away.
And it's so painful to witness.
That middle America.
And we talked about this.
Want a hamburger?
Well, you go someplace and you get mad when they don't speak English. You do know that that's not their national language. Well, they should know it, really.
Yeah. Is English your natural language?
What's the national language of the U.S.?
American?
I'm waiting. Tell me. When you know what our national language is, just because everybody speaks a lot of it doesn't mean it's our national language.
Hell.
Where's the lie?
Duly noted. Crazy, right?
Dude, just insane. And that leads us to what's wrong with y'all. Because insanity, but we're going to talk about this cocktail first.
I want
to get into it. I'm ready to get into it.
Wait. Come on. Wait. Let's get the cocktail first.
Because I keep looking at it like, are we going to take a sip of this at some point or not?
I said, I don't care about how he's connecting with his body. Let me get this cocktail.
I'm about to disconnect from it shortly. Oh, man. So,
what you got, dog?
Dude, we took a little tropical today. This right here.
I know he got more in this cup than I have in mine.
I got more ice.
Okay.
This guy.
Now you gonna say it's more frothy.
It's not. I just gave myself more. Now, how about that?
It's fine. I just drink it slower and not drool.
This is called a Rum Swizzle. You got
for shizzle?
For shizzle my nizzle.
And if you are old white reporters, please do not say that.
Right. Ever.
You'll lose your job.
Dark rum, light rum, orange juice, pineapple juice, grenadine, lemon juice, dash of bitters.
Yep, okay, cheers.
Shaken, not stirred, toss it in a glass over ice. Sip up, y'all.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Yeah.
Yeah. About to get loose up in this house.
Oh, boy, that's good. All right.
We about to get loose.
Oh, boy. Where do we start? Which one would you like to start with?
Let's talk about the doctor and the kids. Remember I told you about this? The dude who was pissed off because the doctor, his pediatrician. So this dude has two sons. And I saw this post on Instagram, and I was like, any of you out there with kids and with just kind of what's happening in the world today, this doctor has been his kid's pediatrician their entire life, and the kids are now 7 and 9. Wife takes him to the doctor, and the doctor asked the 9-year-old, what do you identify as, boy, girl, transgender, or non-binary? The kid is 9. He's a boy. Why at all of a sudden now are you asking the kid as a physician how they identify? Why don't you just examine the kid and keep it moving? You know, why are you, and I see why the doctor, not the doctor, but I see why the dad was irritated, because it seems like, and I get it, I get where he's coming from. It seems like he feels like the doctor's planting a seed or thoughts in the kid's mind that the kid may not have ever thought about. Mm-hmm. And this is a conversation that I feel should be had with the parents. Let the parents, or say, doctor, pull the parents aside and be like, hey, how do your kids identify? Mm-hmm. And leave it at that. And the parents can sit down with the kids later and be like, hey, do you identify, I know you're hearing all this, especially at 7 and 9, you're now hearing all these things. As your father and your mother, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions about your identity? And do you have any questions about what's happening in the world?
Because, as the doctor has a needs know place, that is a parental household personal thing.
That's how that I'm a firm believer in that conversation happening in the house.
Yes.
And especially if you're not a psychologist, that these kids were brought to you to examine in that respect. Mm-hmm. You asking that question has nothing to do with their physical well-being. And if I'm lying out there, if you guys feel it's a problem, you let me know. But that's a parent's issue to deal with. It is not the doctor's initial issue to come up with.
Because that's a social issue.
Exactly. And we deal with, as a physician, we deal with social issues all the time when they're brought up to us. Mm-hmm. Prime example, I have a patient I saw the other day who identifies as male, but every time this person comes to my office, 100% wants me to know that she's biologically female. And so when I'm talking to this person, it is not a matter of he, she, whatever, because I've asked, hey, how do you want me to refer to you? Just call me my name. Cool. Know that in my life outside of here, I identify as male, but I'm still biologically a woman, and this is female.
Because
and this was,
that's how everything's affected.
And so this is the conversation. But I have these conversations when it's ambiguous or if they want me to know something different. If they don't tell me something different, and when they register and it says male or female, I refer to them as such.
Of course. And
so this brings me to the other topic I showed you, how this, I want to say, physically appearing woman got triggered because she goes to an oil to get her oil changed. And the person comes out of the shop. I saw you this, right? Comes out of the shop and was like,
I'm laughing because
and said,
it's
hello,
stupid.
And said, hello, young lady. How are you doing today? Just that was the greeting. And immediately she said, I understand that he's being kind. I understand that he didn't mean anything by it.
He's acknowledging you.
Right.
In a very, very kind, and going back to both of those. Go ahead.
And so she's like, but I can't help but feel some kind of way that I got misgendered when.
Aren't you a lady?
And he doesn't know he's misgendering you because he's only going by what his eyes see.
He sees a lady.
And you, by saying he, just misgendered him.
Right.
What if he's offended and he doesn't go by he?
Right.
So where's the hypocrisy?
The hypocrisy, yeah.
It's just
it's at an all-time
high.
But
this is what gets me, and it's like, if you don't walk up and tell me, if you look like Barbie, since it's the hot movie out now, if you look like Margot Robbie, right? Mm-hmm. And I walk up to you and say she, if it's our first meeting and my eyes tell me you're a woman and you don't want to be referred to as a woman because you identify as something other, then it's not your place to be mad at me for quote unquote misgendering you. It's your place to educate me. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And say, I'm sorry, I may look like this, but I'm actually Jimmy. Cool. I get it, and I will try.
I think makes it sad also is because he's acknowledging her as a woman, what he sees, and
he's being polite.
He's being polite, and he's painting a better picture than what we saw of that person because it's obvious she's not young.
Right. Right.
So he's trying to paint a more
he's
obvious
just being
and better
kind,
picture.
and you got triggered because of how you, whatever it is triggering you, and then you get upset, and you were saying, but I don't know if I should be upset. I don't know how to act. That's something wrong with you in your head, and you could have just been like, you could have easily corrected him and said, you know what? Thank you. I'm going to fight this dude trying to take my drink. I'm going to correct you and then let you know, hey, man, sorry. Like if somebody mispronounces my name, I don't get mad at them for not knowing how to pronounce my name. I just correct them and say, this is my name. If it's spelled David and I say and I pronounce it David and you call me David, I'm not gonna get mad at you for saying David. I'm gonna just tell you it's David.
I actually get mad when people mispronounce the name
if they don't know
because they're being lazy.
Think about this. No, you see David, and I walk up to you and say, "What's up, David?" And you're like, "I get mad. It's David." It's the same spelling. It's David.
Yeah.
But I can't get mad at you for not knowing I pronounce David differently. Yeah. You know? And so
I'm sorry, your name is phonetically correct.
yeah.
it's Land now.
Right. I'm saying
I know, I get it.
My name, but I'm saying in this example, so that's exactly what. I walk up and I see a woman, I immediately think she until you tell me differently. If you don't tell me differently and you just get mad, well, shit, that's on you. It ain't on me. It's that simple. So that was, I just thought that was wild and interesting all at the same time.
Yeah, well, I think what's wild and interesting is everybody airing out their personal affairs on social media.
Do you think that people do that bullshit for clickbait? Or is that their therapy to tell everybody? Or, more importantly, are they doing to get back at somebody?
I think that is their easy way out to break up. I think
instead of just saying I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because and not
let me throw you under the bus. I have this following. I have all these people behind me. Now they're all going to be on you, and then I don't have to worry. I can step back and let them handle.
Right. We're gonna break up, but in the meantime, I'm also gonna make you look stupid.
Yeah.
So nobody else wants you. Yeah. That's that bullshit.
Yeah. Now that's toxic.
That is toxic. We're gonna have to get into that one of these days.
Yeah. Sooner than later.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just.
And it's happening.
It's happening a lot.
It's happening a lot. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why we're bringing it up. It's happening a lot.
Who airs dirty laundry more, men or women?
Oh, women.
Facts.
Women. That's a fact.
Facts.
Because there's a need to share, and
when we're done, we just want to be done.
Bro, quicker to heal is be done.
We just want to be done.
Yeah, and we're still struggling with it.
Yeah.
We struggle with that way longer.
We break up different.
Yeah. I mean, look at it. What's her name? Taylor Swift. She makes songs about it.
Yeah.
She lets it live on and tears up other men's lives.
Dude,
I have no problem about talking about her. I have no love.
We bottle that shit up.
Yeah.
We really do.
Which we need to start airing out as well.
But we don't need to air that shit in public.
No.
We tell you what we think.
Yeah. So we can be better.
But we don't go cry to our boys. We don't go and we don't realistically, we don't have a release. We don't have a release button at all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a handful of us will go to the gym and just get in better shape.
Because nobody wants to hear our shit.
What is it, 98% of the people don't care, and the other 2% happy you got them.
Yep. Problems, that
Real
is.
talk. Real talk.
Yeah. And so we as men know that, so we just keep it ourselves. Fuck it. Keep it ourselves.
Yeah. I think the other one that we need to bring up is weight and people blaming others or finding ways to project their issues on others.
So yeah, I saw that post, and I shared with Kenley. And there's a woman an African American woman who's obese, morbidly obese, who basically was trying to make an argument that racism plays a role into why African American women can be obese, and her argument held no effing water. And the reason why I say that is because she was like, well, we don't get access to healthcare. We don't get the same access to good foods and nutritious foods as white people. And then she said, diets on black people work differently than the same diet on white women. And so because of that, it is sort of institutional racism that will make us basically stay fat. And
there's institutional
racism. I cry bullshit.
There's institutional racism on a lot of things, but that is definitely not one of them.
People, and this goes across the board, I don't give a shit what your background is. I don't give a shit what your race is. I don't care if you're a man, woman, child. People don't take responsibility for their own shit. No. And that's the problem.
No.
If Kenny and I, we're two different people, two different builds, two different activity levels. We do genetically different. So I promise you, Kenny going to the gym, he looks at a weight and puts on muscle mass like that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But
you know,
yeah,
but you know what I mean?
You.
Like, for example, prime example, my brother. We're genetically from the same friggin' parents. My brother walks into a gym and immediately blows up. What I don't know what it is.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Right. He is a freak.
Yeah, he walks into a gym. He goes, works out for a couple weeks, and he's diesel. Me, I got to work at it, and I will never be a big guy. And no matter what I eat, no matter what I do, it's different. And so the work I have to put in versus the work my brother has to put in versus the work coach puts in is very different. If we all do the same thing, of course we're not going to get the same results because we're genetically different. So if you are putting in the work of a skinny white woman, you are not going to get the results of a skinny white woman because you're not a skinny white woman.
Skinny white woman never seen McDonald's either.
Exactly.
She's never seen any fast
racism
food.
Doesn't control what you put in your pie hole. I'm sorry. And I get passionate about this because I'm like,
I do too.
We all make excuses for our bullshit instead of just taking responsibility for our bullshit.
Yeah.
And that goes not with just weight. It goes with our level of, if you, and we said this earlier about being stupid. If you're stupid and you remain stupid, it's your fault because we all have access to information. You just have to access it, read a little bit. Hell, if you can't read, listen a little bit. If you can't hear, watch the shit on TV. Yeah.
How do you receive information best?
You just got to get the
visual?
information.
Is it visual? Is it audible? Is it reading? How do you receive information? And then you have to assess. Honestly, you have to take an assessment. Where the hell are you in your life right now? What does it really look like, and where do you want to go? You got to call BS on self. You got to call BS on self. You have to call BS on self.
You'll spend hours scrolling through bullshit on social media, and yet you stay stupid. You stay stuck on stupid.
Just saying.
You spend hours on TikTok. You spend hours doing dumb shit, and then you won't spend 5 minutes on bettering yourself. That's your own fucking fault.
And you know the sad part is you can actually go on TikTok and learn some shit. If TikTok is your method, why don't you go on TikTok and look up something? Look up hashtags. Look up whatever motivation, whatever fitness.
Dude, I love when patients come to my office and they say, I was on YouTube and I found some exercises.
Exactly. Because that's how it resonated with you.
They're motivated.
Yeah.
And now I can tell them, well, you probably shouldn't do this. Well, I had to do something because my back was hurting and I just wanted to move. Good for you for taking the initiative to treat yourself because it took you 2 months to get in to see me.
Yeah.
So in that meantime, you said, I got to figure something out.
Like when you were showing me the exercises earlier, I said, I like this one. This one's a little too aggressive just to hold. Do this one, and this one.
And that was a simple Instagram post, a good starting point, but people don't take the initiative to get past their own bullshit. It's way easier to blame somebody else than to just take control of your own shit.
Yeah.
So that shit bothers the hell out of me.
Quantify. They quantify the bullshit to make them feel like they're of value.
Yeah, right? And they want to blame somebody else because if I blame somebody else, then I can keep doing what I'm doing because I can just say it's not my fault.
All pressure's off of me now.
Yeah. Miss me that bullshit. So I'm going to say one last what's wrong with y'all, then we're going to get to the topic.
Oh, man, we have.
Do we have to talk about
this? Was a week. What's wrong with y'all?
So let's talk about Florida, my home state. Now, I did a post this week on it, and it seems like where this country is going, we want to rewrite history. Certain people in this country want to rewrite history. And it starts with, number one, doing away with affirmative action. Okay. That's little things like that. But then you look at the state of Florida and you think about the history of Florida. In 1957, Florida as a state tried to actually petition to repeal the Supreme Court decision for Brown versus Board of Education because they wanted to maintain segregation. So think about this as we move forward. And this is a state I grew up in. That's why I know this shit. Then you got this thing where they don't want to teach slavery. They don't want to, now forget that. They'll teach slavery, but they want to end history before Jim Crow and before civil rights.
So basically the way it was originally written in the history books.
Right. So they so what they're trying to do is, and they're saying they don't want to teach it to elementary school kids. They don't want them to know about Jim Crow. They don't want them to know about, they'll know about slavery, but a watered down version, because everybody knows slavery existed because that's how the hell we got here. But they're saying these elementary kid students shouldn't hear about that critical race theory, whatever. That's a college law school program anyway. We can debate that later. But they're even going as far as saying slavery had its good points because it taught critical skills to the slaves, which actually meant that slaves were better because of, black people were better because of slavery, because they learned quote unquote trade. They tried to equate, here's how I look at it. They're trying to make slavery look like a trade school. I taught you to pick cotton. I taught you to do different shit. So be grateful, monkey. You know, it's like, man, come on, man. And to sign this in as a, not a law, but what they did is they came up with guidelines of how things should be taught in school. And one of the things said, you have to add this into your teaching of slavery, meaning saying that here was the benefits of slavery. I'm sorry, y'all. This right here is why if you don't, and I say this all the time, if you don't learn your history, you are destined to relive it. And there are a whole lot of people who want to relive the past. There's a reason why, and what gets me is any black person that agrees with this, any person of color that agrees with this, they're just delusional. And younger people aren't being taught history, and hence why they were so agreeable to saying, okay, do away with affirmative action. If you don't understand history, you won't understand how we got to where we are today.
That's why you got to see Clone Tyrone. They clone Tyrone. You'll get it. You'll see it. And you go, wow, especially when you get closer to the end of the movie. You're like, oh, he really went in on this one. Okay, I get it. Anyway, no.
So that's just, and there's going to be more stuff like this coming up. You know, we're coming into an election year. There's going to be, and we don't get political. We just talk about dumb shit, stupid shit.
Well, I remember when Obama was elected the first time around, 2008, and at the same time, the right to bear arm in Florida as well as Texas was passed as well.
Oh, yeah, everybody can just walk around strapped.
I said, oh, we about to die. And then,
right?
Of course, you had Trayvon Martin. That was
Stand
the
your
first
ground.
one. Stand your ground. Yeah, that was the first one.
If I feel threatened, I could bust a cap in you without having to prove that I'm threatened.
Yeah, think about how many states.
Now, that's a good idea.
Remember those guys that were in the parking lot? They got shot.
Yep, that's a good idea. Really? Anyhow,
boy.
But that's what's wrong with y'all.
And it's been wrong.
And it ain't getting right for a long time. People want it to be wrong forever.
Yeah.
Let's get into today's topic, man. And no, it's not going to lighten the mood. It's going to be funny from us, but it's going to piss a lot of y'all off. And
and if you're not pissed off, that means you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Our topic for today, man, is how did we put this? What do you find, what is undesirable in men, what is undesirable in women. Coming from like what others find undesirable. And it's knowing what's desirable, and then you can toss in red flags, you can toss in all kinds of shit in there. But we're going to talk about it. We really going to talk about it.
I always say, one thing that is so undesirable to me is a squeaky ass woman's voice. When she talks really high and then that or go into a girly voice, if you're a grown woman, talk like one.
And here's the thing.
It drives me
It drives me nuts when you hear them with their friends and it's a normal voice.
That and the voice inflection going high on the back of it's like, dude, everything's not a question.
It's so sing-songy, and it annoys the shit out of me.
I'm like, you are a grown woman.
So let's talk about desire.
Okay.
And you have to understand desire in order to understand what's undesirable.
Fire desire. What you know about that?
I'm older than you. Just remember that.
Now you want to claim it.
Oh, I'm claiming. I'm your elder. Treat me as such. Respect me, boy.
Put some respect behind my name. All right, Birdman. Put some respect behind my name.
Oh man. Let's talk about desire. Like
desirables.
I'm gonna start by talking about what me as a man, how we define desire. Things that kind of light that fire, that make you feel all warm and fuzzy and kind of
the allure.
Exactly. And not just in the opposite sex, but in business transactions and all these different things. What sparks that, And I think it's 100% individual.
Yeah.
It's 100% individual, but yet people try to find something that's universally desirable. There's no such thing that's universally desirable.
There is
but
only
you hear
one
that shit. You hear that shit all the time.
There's only one you.
Like you hear,
it's what you like.
Like you hear, oh, this person's universally hot. What the fuck does that mean? No.
It's like the actresses that are just quote unquote amazing. They're so breathtaking, but they've been married 3, 4, 5 times.
Exactly.
They're going in and out of relationships. At some point in time, it's like, what's wrong with her?
Right.
Nobody ever asked that question.
No, exactly. And
what's wrong with this chick?
And they never talked to the person that bounced.
Mm-hmm. Got some on his lips. So he over there got crumbs,
I'm enjoying this drink. It's called orange juice pulp. But it's one of those things where what we find desirable is it changes not only from individual, but within yourself. What you found desirable at 20 is very different than what you found desirable at 30, 40,
Correct.
50. And so there are always things too that we've accepted in the past that become undesirable. And I think the undesirables change as we understand ourselves better and we start to know our worth.
In other words, we have more desire about ourselves.
Yes.
We have more desire inward towards ourselves, which allow things that we want to fulfill and aid that level of desire within ourselves.
Yes. So what do we find desirable? So universal desirables, men to women. We're going to talk about universal desirables because there are some things that we as men just desire when it comes to women. Peace. Mm-hmm. Number one is respect and peace. So a desirable trait is a woman who knows how to respect her man. Am I wrong in that aspect? And then you look at other traits that are desirable. You look at things that we don't desire success. We don't desire, it's nice if you're successful, but that's not something that we ultimately desire.
But let me ask you this.
Yes.
Do you also think that women that have respect for their man, it also is a sense for us, a sense of their own self-respect?
No.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, I know many women who don't have self-respect, but will respect a dude as long as he's doing for them. Does that make sense? So
there is a myth, but at that same time, with that said, there's a missing bridge component.
So I think it's false respect.
Okay.
When they're giving it to the man.
Okay.
If you don't respect yourself, you're giving your man false respect.
Okay. But in the ultimate scheme of things, would you say that exists?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you can truly respect yourself. I don't think you can truly respect somebody else until you respect yourself.
Yeah.
And
that's where I was getting at.
Right. And so one of the undesirables that popped up, I heard a woman say, and this was kind of crazy. She was like, I don't want a man to ever ask me my body count. And I agree. No man should ever ask. Why are you going to ask? You don't want to know that answer. But she said, why does a man care about a body count? And why is it such a negative connotation? And then she compared herself to a surgeon. And I don't know if I ever sent you this post. She said, she basically said, would you go to a surgeon who hadn't done, like if a surgeon is respected more if he's done 1,000 surgeries, why would you want a woman who's never been with a lot of dudes? Then you go complain to your boys about him you not knowing how to do certain things. You're not good in bed. You're not this. You're not that. That's a delusional way of thinking. Do not compare your sex life to my profession. And the reason why is because, honestly, in something like that where experience makes you better and you're praised for having more experience, I'm sorry, as a woman, you are not praised for more experience because men don't want you to have been with 1,000 other dudes. We know that you've been with people before us, but we want to know that getting close to you is an exclusive club.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the sex.
It has nothing to do with the sex. We don't want somebody who any man can have. I'm going to say that one more time. Undesirable is if any man can have you, then that doesn't make me feel special.
Right. Then that means you're unavailable for me.
Or you're just available for me right now until the next best option comes along.
Kind of like when we were watching, when I came in today, what's the name? Chris Rock's movie.
Yeah, I Think I Love My Wife.
Yeah, and he goes to the club, and all of a sudden, she's not there.
Yeah.
He had to make this excuse to go to the club, and all of a sudden, he goes to the club, and she's not there.
Yeah.
I did all this work for you because you're not available. You are available, but you're only available when you were.
When it's convenient for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So an undesirable trait is definitely that. Something else that I find very undesirable that a lot of women have is indecisiveness, inability to make decisions. And then when given the chance or the decision's made for you, you get mad that the decision's made for you.
Yeah.
That to me is a funky, undesirable trait.
You know what's interesting? I think that's a trait that irritates us. But for them, if we're indecisive, that's a
deal breaker.
It's an absolute shutdown. They because that's now a tackle into your masculinity.
Yes. Well, and it kind of is. So I get it. So an undesirable trait. An undesirable trait in men is the lack of masculinity. The inability to make a decision, the inability to take the lead. If you are that guy who, you ask a woman out on a date and she's like, sure. And then the next thing he says, well, what do you want to do? You shot yourself in the foot. A dude without a plan is an undesirable trait.
Yeah.
Period.
I think we talked about this in the past as well. Is who's probably one of the most masculine men on this earth? And we said Stedman.
Yes.
Because he is out there doing his thing. He's allowing her to shine because she's the forefront. Ideally, she comes home. That's my man.
100%.
My man got me. He got me for the last 40, however many years.
Monique said that same thing about her dude.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, I come home, I make all the money, but he's still the king of my house. And a woman's going to respect you if you can hold that position. They're going to test you. Women test people all the time. They test you as they test their man all the time to see if he can stand up to their bullshit. And when he can't, that's the problem. You know, I think another undesirable trait in men is lack of ambition, lack of drive. If you're a grown ass man and all you do is sit at home and play video games all day, a woman doesn't look at you as a provider protector. If you aren't, there's nothing sexier than somebody trying to better themselves. And a woman doesn't want you if you don't want to be better for yourself. It's that simple, you know?
They're not always, and the thing is, if you're ambitious, they're not always going to see the ambition. They're going to see components of it. They're going to see it times. They're not going to see the end result soon enough for them.
Right.
But as long as you're in that drive and you're able to say, whoa, let me handle this, that means you're in your ambition and you are chasing it. Now, if you are chasing your ambition, but you're, as a result, pushing everything else aside, then that's when it becomes a problem. Because then she's not of value. Everything else.
You're not in your purpose.
Yeah.
An undesirable trait in women. If a woman is pulling you from your purpose, if she's like, I want time, I want this, I want to be first, that's so undesirable because that's a sign of a lack of confidence. I think jealousy is a huge undesirable trait. And what I mean by jealousy, meaning insecurity. All of us have certain insecurities.
Yeah.
You know, but if your insecurities run so deep that they force you to question me all the time, that's a problem. Or if your insecurities run so deep that you seek constant validation from me all the time, that's a problem. It's a bigger problem when those insecurities make you seek validation from others all the time. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're constantly looking for likes, if you're constantly looking for clickbait, you're doing all these things, we don't care and don't want that woman who is all over the internet.
Yeah. Because you're now creating a toxic environment of what you don't want to deal with within yourself.
I mean, if you have, and we've said this before, if you have a monster following on social media and the majority of them are men and it's not for business.
Yeah. This
isn't your way of making money. We're going to push OnlyFans aside. But in general, if it's if your profile is public and you're just there for clickbait, that is undesirable. I could care less if you have 1 million followers or if you have 1, because we don't care about that shit. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you have an OnlyFans, undesirable. I take that back. If you have an OnlyFans that's sexual, undesirable. You know, I know people with OnlyFans who do cooking shows, who do all this stuff.
I know.
I know people with OnlyFans.
It's so lost up into the sexual aspect.
I know OnlyFans people who show their hair, show their feet. Cool. If you have an OnlyFans where you're getting naked and for the world to pay you for sexual acts, undesirable. I'll tell you that now. I don't care. There's no man out there that says he likes that.
Unless your man is the one putting you out there.
No.
The man
that puts you out there is accepting that.
Yeah.
Because you're making money.
Like that one.
If it were free.
Like that one teacher.
Yes.
Her husband.
If it were free, he would not want you out there.
Right.
Plain and simple. If it's making money for him.
It's monetizing the household.
He's a pimp.
Yeah.
I said it. I'll say it again. Now, you don't like what I'm saying? Cut the show off now.
Right. And don't do that. I'm just playing. Anyway,
nah, if you got this far and you heard it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Oh, but yes, that's undesirable. You know, as a man, if you can't hold down a job, number one, or two, if you're a dude, like we said, if you're a dude who can't make decisions, you can't hold down a job, you don't know how to be spontaneous, traits that are not desirable because you have to, because most women aren't going to come with ideas to you for spontaneity. They look to you to come up with shit. They look to you for guidance. I'm sorry, you boss babes out there, I get it, but eventually you want a man that can lead you.
Right.
Not saying that you have to have a man lead you, but you would like at times to kick your feet up and be like, dude, you got this? And he's like, yeah, I got this. Just kick your feet up. Kind of like what you said this weekend when you took your wife. She didn't have to do shit but get in the car. You had everything done. Sometimes that's cool. You know, I'm just saying that's a desirable trait.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to look like I'm bashing women, but as a man, I think women need to hear what we find desirable and what we find undesirable.
But the thing is, what we're saying about men, that's undesirable. That's undesirable to even see on another man, which is why I like to do what I do, which is coach, is help men find their way.
Ladies, something else that's undesirable, keep your nails done. Hygiene is important. I'm going to say that again. Hygiene is important.
And hygiene is important on both behalves.
Don't drive a dirty ass car.
Yeah.
Clean out your shit in your car. I mean, these are all things that we pay attention to. Y'all may not know it, but we pay attention to it. How you keep your crib, how you show up to the job says a lot about who you are. Sometimes you're like, I don't care. I just threw anything on, look like I just get rolled out of bed.
How you show up is how you showing up.
And I'm going to assume that's how you show up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think, oh, look at your Instagram photos. That's how you typically show up. No, your everyday is what I got to deal with. So that's how you show up. If you don't care, we're visual creatures. If you don't care about your appearance, why should I care about you?
It got me thinking about when I go to the gym, when I go to like Jerry's gym, because it's public.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people there. Oh, the gear changes a little bit for myself. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what shoes? I'm picking out the shoes that I'm gonna wear for the day. Oh, well, I haven't worn these in a while. I'm gonna have them wear these. You know, I'm showing up. Listen, I'm 6 feet, 245, 250. Guess what? I'm a big dude. Last thing I need to do is stink.
And whether you believe it or not, you're your own brand.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I'm building a brand. You're your brand. People see you.
You're never building a brand. You living
are the brand.
You're living the brand.
And how you decide to build it is going to be based on what people see, what people hear,
That's
what
correct.
people think when you show up.
That's correct.
And how you show up is so important to us.
And how you show up and lackluster, that is undesirable. People do not want to be around that.
An undesirable trait is the inability to accept criticism. If you can't,
that's a heavy problem.
if you can't take criticism of any kind, and this goes for both parties, if you can't take criticism of any kind, that's a problem. We're not telling you because we just want to beat you down, beat you down, beat you down. If you care about the person you're with, and we're giving you some constructive criticism on how to better things in our relationship or our interaction, and you can't take that, like when I criticize people on the job, if you can't take that and you think I'm just beating you down, no, I'm trying to help you be better at your job so it helps me. If you can't take that, that's a problem.
Yeah. You're literally creating a level of efficiency.
That's an undesirable trait. If I'm trying to date you and we're dating and there's things about you that are easily fixable that I know aren't just part of your makeup, it's just things that you do that I'm like, damn, this is fucking annoying. And I tell you about it and you get upset and you still like get dude, then stop. If you're my girl and I tell you, you know what, it'd be nice if you went to the gym sometime. And you take that as, he's calling me fat. No, I just want you to be healthy. Shit. You know, if I'm going to be with you, I need you to be healthy because we're in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. But if you're taking it as, you don't love me, damn it, I'm with you. You know?
It's always that larger implication, which is insecurity, which is unnerving and drives us crazy. Drives everybody crazy. I don't care. That level of insecurity where it's like you project this larger implication as opposed to what I just said. I think I did a post a couple of weeks ago. It's like I was talking about, like, listen, one of the best things I've learned over the last several years or last few years is really, really learn how to hone in and take it on the chin, but not necessarily take it on the chin, but own it on the chin. Like, okay, what's those nuggets? Okay, all right, she said this. If she said this because she loves me, or he loves me, he's my dude, that's my person. Okay, they said this for a reason. What is that? What's that? Can you tell me again?
And here's the thing that I hate. When we give criticism, we just want to help. Women will criticize men at points when they're mad at men. Does that make sense? Where it becomes mean.
It's very mean.
You know, and believe it or not, ladies, we take everything to heart. So if you come at us and just say, hey, I wish X, Y, Z. I wish that, you know, you would take better care of yourself because you're getting a beer gut and I want you to be healthy. Or I wish that you would stop doing this, or I wish you would do this instead of that, whatever, cool. Or I wish you spent more time with me, or whatever it is. But you tend to not criticize until you're mad, and then you become hurtful when you give your constructive criticism, and it becomes non-constructive.
Yeah, because it's no longer constructive criticism; it's criticizing.
Exactly.
It's very demeaning. It's meant to push you down because
because you're hurt. Yeah. You're hurt by something we said or did, and so in return, you want to hurt us by criticizing something. And it's when we give you criticism, it's not because we're trying to hurt you. We're trying to relay to you the things that bother us.
And there's a lot of times that we have a whole laundry list of criticism.
And we just don't say shit.
We don't say shit.
Because we know the backlash ain't worth it.
Nope.
And so an undesirable trait, I'm going to say it again, is a lack of being able to accept criticism and take it on the chin, learn from it, and move on.
Because if it comes from a loved one, it comes from a love space. Most of the time. Not all the time.
Right. But if somebody loves you and they're telling you something about yourself, listen.
And they're not in attack mode.
Yes, just listen.
Because sometimes it can be like what we just talked about. They're in attack mode.
But even in attack mode, this is something that's been bugging the shit out of them for a long time, and now they just choose to deliver that information in a shitty way.
But they sure do wait
until you. They wait till you at your lowest, and they kick you in the nuts.
Oh, like, woof.
Being vindictive is unattractive. Unattractive. Something else I'm going to tell you, coming from a single guy. It's your social media. I'm going to go back to that.
Okay.
If your social media is all about getting the bag and all the stuff that you own, all the trips you take, all the yachts that you're sitting on, all this stuff. And I know what you do for a living. I know that shit ain't yours. And I'm going to tell you like this, undesirable. It makes you look, honestly, it makes you look not great. I don't care how fine you are. I know you work at Starbucks. I know maybe you're a personal trainer. I know maybe you're a nurse. I know what you make. I know your lifestyle, you know, and then I see you doing all this shit. And I'm just like, all you're telling me, and this is going to sound shitty, is that you're for sale. If you're for sale, undesirable. Liking the finer things and being able to appreciate the finer things, yes. But as a man, if you've done it all already, like in my mind, if I see all that, I've seen that you've done it all, I've got nothing that I can show you. I've got nothing that I can teach you. I've got nothing what are you going to teach me?
At all.
You know? Yeah. There's no humility there. It's all about and this is just a perception. It may be false, but this is why this is an opinion. If I see this, I'm automatically going to start judging and assuming, because we all judge. I'm going to judge and assume that these are requirements you have for the people in your circle. And the simple things in life can't make you happy. When in general, we all should be happy with the simple things in life. So if you can't be happy with simplicity, it's undesirable.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I'll feel you on that one.
You know, if you can't be happy with the simple things, you can't be happy if I say, you know what? Let's go for a walk. Where? It doesn't matter. Let's just go for a walk and talk. Well, where are you taking me? The minute you say that,
yeah,
undesirable. Hey, you know what? I would love to go grab a glass of wine and just sit and chat.
It's like they don't.
Well, where are we having that glass? Is it going to be someplace shay-la-la, or is it going to be?
What do I need to wear?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things. But I'm gonna tell you, one of the sexiest things I can ever, and there's a friend of mine who she'll understand this when she hears it. One of the sexiest things ever is when I say, we're going to dinner on Friday. Cool. Doesn't ask me another question, gets in the car, gets in the Uber with me when we go, and doesn't say a word. Why? Because they know wherever it is we're going,
it's going to be pretty damn good.
Well, not only that, no matter where we're going, the company's going to be great. If we took an Uber and went to El Pollo Loco, we'd have a great fucking time because the company's great. You know what I mean? And so that right there, ladies, is the sexiest shit ever. If your dude, now, a smart dude will tell you, if you're going someplace out of the ordinary and you want to kind of know how to dress, he'll be like, hey, we're going someplace cool, dress this way.
Right.
If you, at that point, don't even ask where they're going and you just get in the car and go, dude, you've won. Desirable. If you question everything and then you have to Google it, look it up, and do all this other shit, undesirable. Especially if it's with somebody you've been with for a long time. Just saying. I'm throwing out more and more shit because it's just, you guys got to know.
That's that single life.
Well, the thing is, people don't know what's undesirable because we just, as men, we are taught to just swallow shit and accept.
Yeah.
You know, we do.
Yeah, we do.
And then when you get in relationships and you bring it up, it looks as if we're picking on you.
Yeah.
And then you get offended and then you start lashing back. You can't just take it on the chin, like Coach said. You start trying to swing uppercuts.
Yeah. Well, I think being a married man and being married twice, the first time really taught me shutting down That's undesirable. Just reflecting on myself, I shut down. But the behavior that I was receiving put me in a position that I was just like, I'm dialed out. And what I've learned this marriage is that, initially you still carry over those bad behaviors. But what happens is, you start doing a little deeper work because you realize that this person going into this relationship is everything that I wanted. Everything. And then with everything that you want, you're going to get some extras.
Oh, for sure.
But what you have to learn how to do is process that, fit that, mold that to what you want, and realize that everything comes along with that, and go for it. And the fastest thing in this relationship is getting to the point. Get whatever it is that we're going through at that point, stop shutting down. Share so we can chop it up and we can move forward, become more efficient. I love the fact that no matter how old we get, we're still trying to grow.
Yeah, and here's one thing too, and let me know if you agree with this, and then we'll kind of start wrapping it up. We're told that we are wanted to be vulnerable, but too much vulnerability becomes an undesirable trait to women because they want you to share. They don't want you to share too much. They want you to have the ability to cry, but they don't want you to cry in front of them. So it's little things like that. Like, I want to be open, but not too vulnerable. I want you to be this, but not that.
Yeah, I say cry, but don't spend all day weeping.
Yes.
Being vulnerable is getting to the spot that you're aware and you see the awareness and you act on the awareness. There has to be a level of action. You can't live in that level of vulnerability and just
show sensitivity without being a sensitive man.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Being vulnerable means just not being overly sensitive. You're not just. It's not wearing on like an overcoat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't raining.
That shit gets heavy.
Yeah. It's time to get some sunshine.
Right. So dudes out there, being a robot, showing no emotion, women don't like that shit.
No, that is.
But it gets tricky because women aren't easy. Showing too much emotion, women don't like that shit either.
Yeah.
Women want you to be a bit of a mystery. They want to know you can handle shit, but they also want to know how you feel about them.
Yes.
Understand that?
Be in touch with your emotions without being emotional all the time. It's rough.
Be able to control your emotions.
Yes.
It's okay for women to not control theirs. You, even when they fly off the handle, you have to still be able to control yours. Because that domestic abuse shit is real, and stop. They don't. Undesirable trait on either side.
Yeah.
Control yourself. Control your anger. Control your emotions. But still allow yourself to feel. Yeah. And to show that you feel.
Yeah. But be in control of yourself. That is the most important thing. Be in control of yourself. You have to be in control of yourself. There's no other way. You can't control how she feels, but you can control how you feel. That's real talk.
That's real talk. Dude. I know we went long today, y'all, but it was a necessary conversation. A necessary conversation for sure.
Man, oh man.
Coach, man. And leading up, we got some great shit probably coming next week because I think this is going to play on each other.
Yeah, we're just going to
we're going to keep tacking it on. Yeah. Coach, man, where they going to find you, man?
Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com.
You're going to find me at Leonel Hunt on Instagram and at huntspine.com. You're going to find us both at SOE_podcast. You will also find us at podcastsoe.com for everything Coach and Doc. You tune in every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on IG Live for the warm-up show.
On his IG.
On my IG, and on the warm-up show.
Post, yeah.
And we out.
We out.
Yeah.